Okay. Whew. Gotta love when the phone connects to Wi-Fi. This talk is a talk with a talk and walk with me. And what I mean by talk and walk with me is just what I mean by that is I am walking and I am talking and I'm personally living my best life right now. And why am I living my best life? Because something about exercising this body that feels really good to the body, you know? And that it just brings me so much joy to take this walk, to sweat this sweat. And they're like, ew, sweat. And I'm like, I know, right? But it's what the body does when it's trying to help the system cool itself down. It's just natural, you know? Like, hey, like you pee and you take a poop too. Okay? And you hopefully drink water as well. These are just natural things about being a human. And sweat ain't bad for you. Belching ain't bad for you. Sneezing ain't bad for you. And if anyone told you that it's bad for you, you can tell them nicely to, I hope you have a great day. Because you don't need to respond to that stupidness. Because you're human. And if you can't do human things, then who the heck can you be? If you can't do human things, who the heck can you be? I'm being serious. Like, that's a legitimate question. So we're going to go back to the question. If joy became the national currency, what kind of work would make you wealthy? Would it be those inventions that you've been sitting on? Would it be that poetry you've been writing or the stories that you've been writing? Would it be the way that you can tell a story, but you're really telling it about other people? Can you turn that into a book for yourself, about yourself, or about something that you want to talk about? That could be like a rom-com, a comedy, or a drama, or action, or whatever you want it to be, or a children's book. There's a lot of talents people have. It's either you can use those talents to edify yourself or tear yourself down. When I say edify, I'm talking about when you're gossiping, you're talking mess on yourself, especially if you're doing it behind the person's back, because that is what you're now drawing to you. There's a cause and effect to that. And the effect of it is that person, if someone's probably going to talk about you just as bad as that person is talking about you. And the thing is for me, honestly, the only time I bring up other people is when I have to give the person an update. And generally speaking, ain't no bad things. Because the thing is that the bad is generally one out of 100 things that they did. 1 out of 100. So why focus on that 1 out of 100? It don't make no sense unless it's going to kill that one. And then why don't you pray and say, I pray that they be okay. I pray that they walk in their freedom, whatever that looks like. Because I don't do specific prayers no more. And the reason I don't do specific prayers is because of the fact that I am not trying to mess with that person's will, because I don't know what their will is all the time. Majority of people don't know what their will is. Sometimes it's within themselves. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now, I'm moving on to talking about, I'm going to talk about movies for a second, because I have a ticket on here, so I know we're going to talk tickets. When you're buying a ticket, my question is, what kind of ticket do you normally buy? Do you just want to be in the venue, or are you trying to be like front row center? Or are you just trying to be in the front row? Or is it I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to go, even though I really want to. And then you make an excuse as to why. And because you make an excuse as to why, you generally don't go. And then you feel like you missed out. And what was the point of doing all the exercise for? It makes no sense. You either buy the ticket or you don't. You either buy the front of the row seat or you don't. Either way, I hope you're happy. And why I say either way is because someone's happiness is all reliant on themselves and what they're choosing to think and what they're choosing to do and how they're choosing to experience their emotions. If they're going to actually experience their emotion, or are they going to stuff it? They're going to hide it. They're going to smoke it out. They're going to pop a pill it out. They're going to sex it out. They're going to beat it out, whatever that looks like. And if you like plays, musicals, movies, go to them. And if you want to go to movies, check out on your whatever movie theater is close to you that you like going to when their discount days are. And go on their discount day. You don't have to go on the day where you have to pay full price. And for me, this is how I handle it, so I also don't spend more money than I need to spend. Especially when they want to give me a discount. Why not take the discount they were trying to give me? I see nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Oh, oh, now I'm just breathing now. Okay, I'm gonna cross the street. Okay, so my next thing would say is this: is that when it comes to movies, what movies are you watching? Are you watching movies that are going to scare you, that are going to bring out the fear in you? Are you watching movies that are going to uplift you? Are you watching movies that are going to move your love strings? Are you watching movies that are going to make you laugh to the fact that you're almost peeing in your pants? What are you watching? Because whatever you're watching is also watching you. And the thing is that there's so much programming in things that you watch. And the more of something that you put in you, the more that it comes out of you. Because out of the abundance, the heart speaks. Out of the abundance, the heart speaks. What are you abundantly putting into you? Because that's what you're going to bring about. So I implore you to really think this out. What are you putting in your mouth gate? What are you putting in your ear gate? What are you putting in your ears? Like, what are you listening to? Are you listening to things that make you happy, bring on your spirit, that are categorizing you? What you listening to? Or you listening to some frequency music? What you listening to? Oh, we have my beautiful, beautiful Mr. Jason coming up, and he'll be on shortly. And that three, and that two, and that one. Hey, Jason.
Walking or are we walking or talking?
Walking and talking, sir, about
Oh,
anything and everything.
how was your day or eve?
It's going good. I will say I was making it out to be a bad day, even though it's not a bad day at all. It's just I was letting fear and excuses take over for a second, which is why I'm on my walk right now.
I do the same thing when I feel nervous or unsure about things. I walk. And
Sometimes you have to walk it out, and that's why I'm like, walk it out and talk it out, because why not?
well, yeah, something I learned about like depression a long time ago. The more I stay still, the more the thoughts escalate. The more I move, then my thoughts work themselves out. You know
I like
that
that.
it's true. Like that's why some people who have really hardcore anxiety and depression, there are some of them who just spend hours at the gym and they'll have amazing physiques, but the mind that controls it all is like, it's in torment at times and then it's at ease, So
Oh
it
yeah,
bought
especially when you're lifting and you're like, I can do this. No, I can't.
uh-huh. Yeah, the body motion makes movements in the mind too, you know.
It definitely
So
does.
yeah, I just feel like, the more, like for me, especially lately, everything that I've gone through and that I'm currently going through, I get into movements, but then I also have to remember to recess, to rest. Like I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? And I was like, oh, hell no, I'm going back to bed. So I'm like, I went to the restroom, put to, who was it? Derives Global on Clubhouse. And he was just talking different manifestations. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to sit here with this megahertz and listen to what he has to say. And I went right back to sleep. So knowing to rest also is
Oh,
very
I love
important.
those times, and I'm like, I meditate myself back to sleep.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it. I will let you know I'm in a weird cell spot right now, so I might just be quiet for a second for my thing to catch up and fill me in on what you just said. So I just want to give you that heads up,
no worries.
and I hope you guys can still hear me. But here's what my thing is, Jason. What is that movie
Yes.
that you can go to that just brings you so much joy that you watch it just to bring yourself up?
It's between two, Ocean's 11 or The Sandlot.
Ooh, that's a good movie. Both of
There,
them.
no, there's a
Dang,
third. There
that's
is
a
a
good answer.
third. Robin Hood with Errol Flynn, but that's when I feel afraid and I need courage. I watch that classic film from the 1930s. When I just want to be a hang around, just one of the guys, watch The Sandlot.
That's a good film.
And if I want to, be a true schemer you know, really be articulate and trying to figure things out, I watch Ocean's 11. So
I absolutely love
yeah,
that. Like I really do. I'm by a school bus, so my apologies.
'cause
But
I feel like I'm a in a way a lot of times.
no, like hero for me, one of my favorite movies, but I don't watch it as often anymore, is White Chicks. I'm being so serious. It's
I believe
hilarious.
hold my poodle, dog.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I just flashed back to that. Or oh my freaking god! I'm about to have a BF, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to have a bitch fit.
Never listened to that one song where I forget that one girl sings "Making My Way Downtown."
Yeah, making my way downtown, walking
I never listened
fast,
to that.
oceans pounds, I'm homebound.
I thought it was cool when it came out, but I was like, no, I won't listen to it ever again.
Oh, I feel that though, because every time I listen to it, it reminds me of that scene where they're in that car and then they change the gangsta, and it's hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh, that brings me so much joy. So
never
my
looked
question,
at Terry Crews ever the same again after he was like looking at like the the toe scene, there at the restaurant.
oh my, basking in ambiance, and I'm like, dude, you don't do that. What in the name of no?
Right.
So, oh my god, that's hilarious.
Or the
I absolutely
part
love
where
that.
he has sex with, I think, the white girl who was blind, and then she could all of a sudden see.
No, or the guy on accident because the guy was they were both trying to spike each other or spike people's drinks, and
Oh
they ended
yeah,
up
yeah,
sleeping together. That was hilarious.
yeah.
And I was like, that just tells you you don't do that because God got you. That's what I'm gonna say.
Right.
Oh my god. Oh, that was a good movie. So do you have anything to say about nutrition or anything else or what you've learned this week or how your
Um,
day's going?
I was really thinking about things in finance, and I'm trying to narrow down my guest on Saturday for man to man, and it's like I got to figure something out because like the guest I originally planned, he's not giving me a firm answer, and I'm like, okay, so that's the
Did you
only.
ask Malcolm?
I don't want Malcolm just yet.
Okay.
It's no offense to him, but the first 5 weeks I have already five speakers, and there's specific content creator or specific specialists in within the content itself. So
I got you.
I am going to ask him though in the near future, but it's just one thing. He's also in that space where he's figuring some things out after, especially after yesterday's conversations that he had. I had really made him think. I know I did that.
I got you.
But he is definitely on my list, and I'm going to ask him pretty soon. But yeah, once a week when I do my man to man podcast, and but what I learned about this week is credit is not the same, as wealth. I don't care what credit you have, you're not wealthy.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
And when you say wealthy, are you talking in a sense of money, or wealthy in regards to good health, like well
Well,
health?
whenever you meet wealthy people, they're very amazing, creative, and happy people.
I got you.
The wealthiest people I've ever met, they're polite, they're hospitable. They don't brag on their possessions. They enjoy what they have, and they're not always in need. So,
That hero.
yeah,
That makes sense.
that's something I thought about. So
Well,
think
like I
about it
said,
as
that
you're
makes sense.
building your resources.
No, I got you. So I know for me personally speaking, I just manage my own finances. I have a I have one yeah, financial advisor. I
Hmm.
don't talk to her about all my decisions because she generally just tells me do what I was already planning to do because I was already on the right mindset, kind of thing. I just have to do
Yeah.
execution of all of it, like life insurance, and I have multiple policies on my life insurance and dental and vision and other
Right.
insurance to make sure just in case something should happen, you straight kind of thing, and making sure that getting paid every month on automatic so I don't have to think about it. Stuff like that.
Right. like I'm trying to develop and build my own HSA, and trying to figure out, do I need a 20-year term life insurance, as opposed to whole life? There's all kinds of different things that you can be learning about, but yeah.
Technically, you can just do both. I have a cash value and I have a term policy. So
Yeah,
I'm
the
just
only thing I
saying you
didn't
can do
like
double
about the
insurance.
term, that I got a quote for a term, like I think it was like 500,000, but I'd have to pay 150 a month for 20 years. Well, for a
Yeah.
term, that's a little high, but it's because I'm diabetic and I'm almost
No,
50.
I will say
Is
that makes sense, but I will say for me personally speaking, I didn't go with it outside of my company to make it the company I'm currently working for to make it easier for me. Because I was like, I'm just gonna use what they currently got because after I'm no longer with them, then I can actually turn it into my own term policy for what the rate I was already paying
right.
through them, which I appreciate, which is what I learned when I was learning about insurances and life insurance and stuff.
Yeah.
So I got you.
I'm also learning about estate planning, for myself, because when you pass, you don't want to pass your debt onto your spouse or your family. So, it's very important to do estate planning and to stop applying for credit in your personal and always apply in your business. Even if you
Oh yeah. Come back, Jason. You have to finish. You have to finish. You can't just leave people hanging like that. He's gonna be back, back, back. Jason's gonna be back, back, back.
I'm learning
In
about,
one.
applying business credit. Like, people really are misconceiving how to really work LLCs versus LLPs, you know? And it's
No,
like,
I
I've
got
heard,
you.
like yesterday I was in a discussion where someone who was claiming to be an accountant, which I really didn't care, and they were telling me, well, I'm trying to build my brand. I want to get this Mercedes CL, I forget what. And I was like, you're going to use an
Why?
object for a brand piece, but that depreciation on that brand piece is going to cost you more in liability, and you're going to spend more money in the long run for that piece. You're only in the car for so long.
My question is this. Is that are they going to use it to put it on Turo to make that passive income, or are they trying to use this as their main vehicle? These are just the questions
Both.
I ask.
Both.
Oh,
And I was like, and the more that I started asking questions, I was like, I don't want to call him a fraud out loud, but I was just like, yeah, you're just a clout chasing bookkeeper. You're not an
no, and
accountant.
I got you because the thing is to have an LLC. It doesn't mean you want to be a sole proprietor. It means that you want to be an S corporation with an LLC, and then start doing
Well,
your subsidiaries and stuff like that. If you're just starting out,
well,
not when you're
I
right,
looked
right.
into something else. Check this out.
What
I
do you think?
looked into getting a living trust as a holding company to also be to oversee the S corp and your LLC,
That's
because
what I
you're
was going to do, but I haven't got there yet. So I know I get what you're putting down because one of my teachers, my accounting teacher, who's also a CPA, he's like, Sharente, it's all about the trust, baby. And I was like, what are you talking
right.
about? And then he told me about how he flipped this house and how he has 5 different properties. He is a professor at a college. He's still doing his CPA work. And I'm like,
Right. This is business language and money language I am unfamiliar with, and I don't have that kind of capital, but it gives me ideas to
oh, yeah.
diversify income source, not passive, not regressive, or even residual. It's just income for profit, for your holding, because that's what you're. So what the way I'm looking at it is, you do a living trust. You pay very little taxes. You actually get a tax return because you do this. And then your S corp and your LLC are the employees under the umbrella. But see, under the S corp, you're the main pay, um not beneficiary. What do they call employee of the S corp?
Yep.
So it's almost
I
tax.
get what you're putting down. That's why I was like, I've been looking into this
Yeah.
myself. because my thing is I'm going to get my business there. I'm not there yet, but I know where I'm
Right.
going. I don't know my end game. I have to kind of figure that out today because I have an assignment due, aka my business plan due today or next Thursday. Because
Right.
I can graduate from a program I'm currently in.
I'm
But
happy for you.
thanks, I really appreciate it because it's been a learning journey. Because I opened the LLC and I said now I actually need to fully be a CEO. I can't just call myself a CEO, kind of thing. And my
Don't
thing is,
just call yourself a businesswoman. That's it. Let people guess what you are. They don't need to know.
I love it. I absolutely love it. But I will say, because I have a speaking engagement, I can't change what I already said in regards to my job title, unfortunately. But it's
That's
okay.
okay. Well, when you play poker, do you come to a poker table telling people that you're going to play good poker, or you just let them guess?
That's actually a good thing. But I will say, in regards to this particular thing, it was either I say what I do for the company that I work for and
Nope.
possibly get in trouble for what I say, or say I'm underneath my own
Nope.
thing.
You just say the company. That's it. Working with the company.
I got you. I got
Because
you.
you're going after the same model other people do. Do you ever hear Jeff Bezos say, I'm the CEO and this is what I do and this is what my plan? No. He always says Amazon.
Okay. I like it. I hear you. I respect it. I'm gonna take it because I do listen to what you do say. I really do, and I appreciate you giving me feedback at any time. I'm not like against it, so thank you for that. I greatly appreciate it. And I will
Absolutely.
say though, but I will just say this: I appreciate that I have it on my LinkedIn at least because I'm being invited to things that I need to know. Like, how do you speak with your board members to talk to them about the fiscal and the projections? And I was invited to something like that, or talking or learning about cybersecurity and how do you make sure your company stays safe and stuff like that.
What I would suggest, and maybe you think about this, when you make the LinkedIn, don't use your name, just use company. Just use a company, it's it.
Okay.
You know? And then for if it asks for board of directors, then sure you can give them names if you want, but let companies and business ask you, not you present to them, because they're already anticipating your chess moves.
Okay.
You know,
I appreciate it. I really do. Like, I'm listening.
yeah, because that's what I would do. I mean, well, that's what I'm actually working on right now. It's like, hey, they don't need to know my name unless I am the face that is promoting in the marketing. Well, guess what? There's better people than me marketing. Let someone else to image take the hit, not me. Most big business, you don't see those real owners, the real shot callers. They're always in the background.
I
Why?
got you.
Because they're not targets.
I
Who are
got
the
you.
yeah? Who's the biggest targets in business? Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, um, you know, Jeff Bezos. These are three people. You know, what's his name? Who owns the Dallas Mavericks? Mark Cuban.
That was like, sorry, that's Mark.
He
But
just
I hear you.
he's the face, but he says things on Shark Tank for entertainment. That's his employment. You know that?
Oh yeah. I'll just say,
Yeah.
oh yeah. And like I said, I hear you. I do. And I will say, when it comes to business, I know for me personally speaking,
Mhm.
I can judge for myself, but I've been working on my business credit by doing my net 30 and taking my time and implementing that. They're like, get 5 accounts at one time. And I'm like, let me make sure
No.
I handle the small
Yeah.
one account first before I start adding more accounts to my name, kind of thing. I'm still working on my personal credit too. So I'm like, no, because the thing is that when banks are looking at you, they're looking at both, especially if you don't have a high enough business credit yet.
You get it automatically a lot of times. Depends on what you're applying for. You know, first they want to make sure, does your business actually exist for business credit? So that's one obstacle. Because people have said it on TikTok and everywhere else, like, oh, you want to put things on your business credit, but if your actually business isn't moving, it's not an actual entity that does anything other than
And then
just a
my question
face.
is this: do you have a Duns and Bradstreet? Do you have a Sam's? What do you have? Like, do you have something that actually identifies you besides your EIN?
Right,
They don't talk about that either on TikTok.
right.
And I'm like,
And
you gotta have some established stuff before you can say, you're really a business.
But I found a catch. Like you can put like not for profit, not non-profit, but not for profit, because while you're in your R&D phase, this is research and develop. So you're not making profit. You're still trying to establish the organization. Then once you have it organized to where you're bringing in income, then you move it to a not for profit into an S corp. An S corp is actually going to do more for you as a continuation of the body of the business while still remaining under the brand, so then you've got that.
I
Then you've
like what you're
got
putting
viable
down.
assets. I mean, that's just what me thinking off the top of my head.
No, I got you, and I see what you're envisioning, because the thing is that when you're making a business, you also want to trademark that thing.
That's
So
easy.
that
And
it is,
copyright.
and copyright is less than $85.
hmm
Trademarking is less than $300.
hmm Yeah, I'm
That's
trying to
it.
learn about copyright because there's a lot of money still to be made in it. And there's so many copywriters I've met, but
I
I'm
will say
barely
I'm personally
understand.
learning too, because I have to copyright a book before I go ahead and publish it.
No, you only have to copyright the manuscript, not the
Oh no,
book
that's what I'm
itself.
talking about. My thing is I haven't done that yet. I'm still trying to figure out how to do the application appropriately because of the fact that it's a poetry book. So I was like, does that mean it's
Mm,
one book or is it multiple collection of works? Because last year I wanted to submit a wrong application and then get a fee for submitting the wrong type of application and then get another fee for reapplying again.
I see what you're saying.
So that's what I'm personally trying to avoid.
Gotcha.
So still trying to figure it out, and then eventually I will.
You
But
got it.
thank you for coming up. Thank you for speaking
No
with me.
worries.
I hope you have a great day. That was Jason, the 72 architect. He is fire. Just listen to his talks. He's a very open person. Love his podcast that he started doing, which is Men to Men. And he's talking about some good stuff. He had, I think it was the go-to guy, Dwayne, on his first episode. Apparently, we don't know what happened with episode 2 yet, but that's okay. Listening to that, I believe right now he's doing it on Clubhouse. And like I said, it's just a really good time to just listen to it. If you're a man or you're a woman, you will learn something from it. I learned so much just as a woman. And then my husband learned so much for it as a man. He's like, I got to re listen to that to make sure I heard everything. So listen to what he's doing. It's good stuff. And I will say, when you're all wisdom, listen to for the wisdom and use your discernment. If it's not doesn't feel right, it probably isn't right. And swipe. And technically, it's a swipe, right? You can pretend like you're on Tinder or one of those dating little apps. Swipe right. Don't even listen to it. Don't like what I'm talking about either. You can swipe right too. Woo! Isn't that fun? Isn't that powerful? The fact that you can swipe right and that's a choice. I love it. So we went to the shirt, which is business. Now we have two more topics to quickly talk about, and that's love. Even though it's been in everything that we've been saying, it's about truly loving yourself and learning for yourself. As I said before earlier, the dogs are telling me, what to do, homie. I don't know you, so I'm saying hi to you. That is what I believe they're saying to me. I have no fear in regards to what size the dog is, because at the end of the day, it's just a dog. Okay, and I love dogs, but they're just dogs, and they're just the only way they can talk is bark, and it is what it is. They're just talking like little beings, and I love them. But to love is to, I will say, just to be, not try to label anything or anything like that, not try to force anything, not try to boast, not try to talk smack. No, like none of that. To love means for me that you accept things as they are and that you love as it is. And you can see if you don't personally like it or that person also don't like it, see that person or that thing in its wholeness, not its brokenness, and its wholeness. And things are not really broken. They're just them. And if you know that, stop being hard on yourself and forgive yourself. Upon that mess. My apologies. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And just move on and stuff. And the last thing I want to talk about is tech right quick. I want to talk quickly about cybersecurity. please, 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 please make sure that when you're at home that you have a password on your Wi-Fi. Don't have a password on your Wi-Fi, you're easily hackable. If I put in a certain code phrase, a certain system with a colon, I can see into people's houses. I can see into people's things because that's how easily hackable it is. It's a Google search. It's a Google search. So make sure you have passwords on all your stuff. Make sure you're secure in that way. And the thing is if you're using public internet and you're going to your banking apps, I highly implore you, or any place that you put your banking information, I highly implore you to use a VPN, which is a virtual private network. VPNs like Surfshark, Nord VPN. I think Norton. That's Norton. I believe Norton has their own. McAfee has their own. But get yourself a VPN. Get yourself protected. Get yourself in your own little network, a virtual private network. That's a big ball of status. But you do it to protect yourself, protect your assets, protect your PII, personally identifiable information. Protect that. That's your name. That's your social. That's your date of birth. That's your address. Those are PII, which is why HIPAA is a thing. HIPAA talks about all that PII information and talks about what's actually going on in your body too. So protect yourself before you wreck yourself. And then I'll say this is only allow, even on your social media, people to tag you that you follow. I'm gonna repeat that. Allow people to tag you that you follow, especially with the fact that people just post stuff to you and it's not really about you. Like people posted me in some scams on the Instagram. You know what I did? I went to promptly to my settings and said, settings, okay, show me exactly where you are. Show me where my privacy is. And I took that off. Only people that I follow can tag me in their posts. And that's to protect me and my brand because I don't want something popping on my page that's not me and my brand. That's not what you do. You protect yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay? And I will say, this is the end of my walk. And now I want to personally see where I got to in my walk. Let's go ahead and check it out right quick. So I'll be off in a second, only because I have a work meeting to go to. And I love the system that I'm about to touch, which is Workday. I did 3.8 miles, in 84 minutes. That is a good day. It really is. And now Tokyo, which is my dog, just fell to the ground. She's like, oh, that was a good walk. Oh, I'm done. Whew. And now I am personally now doing what I need to do. But I love you, and I appreciate those that walked with me today, each and every single one of you. I especially want to thank Jason for coming up and speaking with me. Thank you, Dylan Young. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Misty West. Thank you, BC. Thank you, Ryan Ingolstadt. I believe that's how you say your name. Sandra Critter. Thank you so much, Gina Ferrari. Thank you so much, Soraya. Thank you, Brianna. Thank you, David. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, oh my God, Micah, Samo, Annie, Howard, Ashton, Sally, Prosper, Ella, Eric, Dr. Rao, Vincent, Jessica. Thank you for the claps. Thank you, Vincent, for the claps. Thank you, Micah. Thank you, Lucius. And thank you, Todd, for all listening in. I love each and every one of you to infinity and beyond. And I hope you have an amazing, rush, joy-filled day. Remember, you got to go from fear to faith to freedom and walk in it. I love you. Bye-bye.